Hello everyone, I am Kate Gennaro, a planning specialist with Texas Sea Grant. We are continuing our Hurricane 2020 series. Previously, we had an overview of the FORTIFIED program, and we were speaking with some folks from the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety, or IBHS, and from Smart Home America. Let's have you guys introduce yourselves again for anyone who missed that first video.
Thank you, Kate. My name is Cary. I'm the Fortified Market Development Manager for IBHS. IBHS is a research organization that we have a research facility in South Carolina where we conduct testing on full-scale structures, and then we also do a lot of post-disaster research after events such as Harvey and Michael. And through that, we've been able to develop, learning what we've learned through that research, we've been able to develop the Fortified Home program, which is what I'm going to talk a little bit more about again a little bit later.
Thank you, Alex.
Thanks. Sorry about that. Thanks, Kate, for having me back. My name is Julie Shiyou-Woodard. For those who didn't catch the first video, I am the President and CEO of Smart Home America. We are a not-for-profit out of Mobile, Alabama, and we work in a lot of states. And our job is to educate and advise communities and homeowners and business owners on the benefits of resilience and mitigating your property before storms come through, and how to shop your insurance and get adequate insurance so you can recover quickly.
So we mentioned in the previous video that people are already building strong on the Texas coast, but we wanted to discuss now what are the additional costs to some of the fortified elements that people can include in their construction practices.
Sure, I can take that one. So with Fortified, I mentioned in the last segment that there are 3 levels. The first level being roof, the second is silver, and then on up to gold. So you can really, it's available pretty much at any price point. So whether you're building it, and again, it is for building new or existing homes. Generally speaking, if you're going all the way to gold, which is pretty easy to achieve in Texas because of what you're already doing with load path, the continuous load path, which we talked about. It's a roof tied to the walls and the walls to the foundation. That's already required. So with that, going to gold, it's generally about 1 to 3% increased cost for new construction. For existing homes, the most cost-effective way to participate in the Fortified program is when you're re-roofing. So if at that time you would be able to tear off the roof and then make some of the things like adding ring shank nails, which actually strengthen the attachment of the roof, and then sealing the roof deck, which again we've had a great video on with the last video, that helps keep the water out. Those costs with the inclusion of the evaluator fee generally run between $1,500 and $2,000 on most average size homes. So it's not a huge additional expense at that time. It can be even less depending on again, what size home and what's already there in your home. So again, that is the most effective time to do that, but that can be done also on new construction. So it really is, there's a lot of different price points to get there.
You mentioned the video, but we looked at 2 really cool videos last time. So let's go ahead and look at another video this time. And this one is going to be talking specifically about that sealed roof element of the Fortified program.
Video speaks for itself, and that sealed roof deck really is one of the things that sets Fortified apart from most building codes. The one thing I would like to add, because it mentioned asking your roofer about a fortified roof, we do have trainings available for roofers. So if your roofer is not familiar with that when you go asking him for a fortified roof, or we do have those trainings available online now. So that's an exciting development thanks to COVID.
We say Smart Home does a lot of education. So we travel to a lot of states and give a lot of educational seminars and talks. And one of the things that we say for a community as a whole, if you just think about your community, for your community to really be able to take a significant hit and to be able to recover pretty quickly and not suffer what we see after major events, and which you are still recovering from, is that you have to build and insure to the water and the wind. So if you're not building above the water and you flood, you're not likely to recover unless you have insurance, and most people don't. If you're building to the wind, but you don't build to the flood, then you're still not necessarily going to recover. And so you really have to, you have to know what your risks are. And if you live anywhere near the beach, you need to be thinking about, if you're not above the water, how am I going to recover if I flood? And if this house is older, when am I going to re-roof? And I need to get fortified because that's my way of protecting against the wind. And then making sure that you look at that insurance policy, because this is where I get naggy. Homeowners don't look at their insurance policy after they close on the mortgage. They just get that renewal statement, and if they've got a bundle package, they get their new insurance cards for their car insurance. It goes in the wallet in the glove compartment. And then the homeowner's policy goes in the stack, and they may not know where it is in the stack, but they definitely don't go through it with fine-tooth comb. So it's an opportunity once you get that fortified designation, no matter what level. There's silver and there's roof and there's gold. And gold is really when you're building new. You're not really going to get there in an existing house, but in an existing house, you can get to roof and you can get to silver. And Alex, why don't you take a second and just talk about those components, right? So we've talked about load path in both of our videos now, but we really haven't talked about silver. That's like that sandwich, right? That's the one in the middle.
Yeah, great point, Julie. So we talked a bit about fortified roof and the increased fastening with it and the sealed roof deck. You actually have to get all of that done before you can reach silver. And then with silver, there's the additional elements of things like hurricane shutters and protecting the openings. And that's important for all openings, because including garages, because we all know that garage doors it's a pretty large opening. And if that is breached, it can really wreak havoc and create some pretty catastrophic damage on the structure. So in the opening protection or the shutters or impact protection, all of that is really to keep the wind pressure out, because it's the wind pressure that has that causes the catastrophic damage with structures. So that's a really important part of silver. In addition to that, we also look at things like gables, which is if you have a peak like this on your siding, that's called a gable. And that is a really vulnerable spot, again, because of the wind pressures. When the wind hits that, it can create a lot of damage if that gable is not braced properly. So that's another area we delve into with silver. And then attached structures, because if you have a porch or a carport that's attached to your house and that's not anchored well, that can actually also create some pretty catastrophic damage, because if that's lost, then many times you'll lose other parts of the house because it is attached and creates this sort of domino effect of damage. So those are the real high points of silver. And then again, with gold, it's not just continuous load path. You actually have to meet the roof and the silver standards in order to achieve that gold designation.
That's really helpful to know that there are, all those different elements that you can look into. I know that you can, you had talked about working with an evaluator and working with your builder. And so the three of you can talk about all the different options and then figure out what fits your particular needs on your house and what fits your particular budget. So it's really good to know that the Fortified program has a lot of flexibility built into it.
And I think just reiterating that it's affordable at every price point. you know, we have Habitats for Humanity and Team Rubicon and some of the nonprofits that come into communities afterwards, and they're meeting that fortified standard. So it's not that it's only for the few. You can get to that standard. And again, absolutely, the easiest time and the most affordable time is when you're re-roofing.
That's good to know. Yeah, when is the best time to start implementing some of the fortified standards? That's key. Well, for anybody who missed the first video, it's really good, be really good to go back and watch that other video, because it gives a better overview of the whole fortified program. Here we talked a little bit more about building codes and the specific standards within the fortified program. I just want to thank Julie and Alex again for joining us and being part of our Hurricane 2020 video series. And
thank you.
And we will continue our series, and we'll have a new topic for the next video. Thank you all, and have a good day.